Welcome to the ThunderCast, your Marshall Athletics podcast produced by the fans, for the fans. We're bringing you the thundering word on the thundering herd each and every week. So keep it right here. The ThunderCast is on the loose.
Thank you for downloading another episode of the ThunderCast. It's Russ and Jade back with you again for the midweek news roundup and talking a little bit of herd athletics as we go around the herd. Jed, how are you?
Hey, doing all right, man. Dealing with a little head thing. I think we've got allergies coming, but that's hey, for me, that's a sign of fall. It's starting to creep up, which means we got fall sports, man. Lots to talk about today.
Fall sports are underway, just like we had in Around the Herd last week. Got more of them this week. But, Jed, I'm going to ask everybody watching or listening right now to hit the like, follow, subscribe, all that jazz. It's free to do, but we want you to get notifications when we're putting the new content out, and it's a few times a week, especially here in the fall. Here in 2 weeks, you're going to start getting 4 episodes at a minimum of content from the ThunderCast a week. You don't want to miss them. Hit subscribe. Make sure you get those notifications. Got to start us off with a word from our sponsors at Leasure Oliver PLLC. If you've been hurt in a wreck, call the law firm of Leasure Oliver PLLC. Find them at 304carwreck.com. All right, Jed. As every week, we have some things to talk about, and we're going to get 5 things from your company, Ignite.link. So let's hear from them and get right into it. And now, here are at least 5 things every herd fan needs to know this week. As always, brought to you by Ignite.link, the Tri-State's premier IT management team. All right, why don't we start off with some academic news. Marshall led the Sunbelt Conference with 4 athletics programs earning top GPA in the conference as the school receives 288 academic awards for the 2025-26 school year. Those 4 programs, Jed: women's golf, 3.95. We've talked about them a lot. Women's soccer, 3.77. Women's basketball, 3.60. And football, 3.22, were tops in the Sun Belt. Also, impressively, Marshall had 17 student athletes earn the 1A FAR Academic Award. This award is given to student athletes who earn their bachelor's degree from September the 1st, 2025 through August 30th, 2026, and maintained a 3.8 grade point average or better. Participation in at least 2 years of athletic competition at an FBS school is also a requirement for the award. 176 of those 288 also were named to the commissioner's list with a 3.5 or better, and the remaining 95 were named to the SBC Academic Honor Roll at 3.0 or better.
Differentiator, man. Differentiator.
It's a differentiator. I don't know if that's the first time Marshall has won top football GPA in a conference they've been in, but when you have over 100 student athletes, it is ridiculously hard to average that high. They got a 3.22. It's just crazy good. Women's golf, insane. It's 1B, maybe 2 Bs total out of the entire team covering 2 semesters. I think they had a 3.96 in the spring that we just talked about a couple of weeks ago, finished second in the country, 3.94 probably for the previous semester. 3.77 in women's soccer, 3.6 in women's basketball. Ridiculously good, man.
Yeah, it's and I feel like we talk about this all the time, kind of beating that same drum all the time about how important it is for these athletes to have also a really, really good education. And when you're pulling in student athletes that work this hard and get these kind of grades and produce in the classroom and on the field. Those are the student athletes that we want to see mature into fully functioning adults, whether it's, at the professional level or in a career or things like that. So this is really cool, man. And I love that this becomes a thing every single year, like from the fall through the spring, even into the summer. We're always talking about academic awards across the board, which is fantastic, man. So definitely a differentiator. Love to see it, and congratulations to these student athletes. Like we've talked about before, yeah, I didn't even get the 3.8, the 3.5, just carrying my normal load, let alone
Right.
having to do workouts and practices and traveling and all those things. So very cool accomplishment. I'm glad that this is something we continue to talk about.
Best in the Sun Belt, 4 different programs, like we mentioned, were tops. I'm going to list off the 17 that got the bachelor's degree and maintained at least a 3.8. Ellie Berry, women's volleyball; Kaja Ekstrom, women's soccer; Bella Gerlach, softball; Jessica Humby, women's swim and dive; Daniel Rose, men's soccer; Haley Adkins, softball; Jack Betts, cross country, track and field; Asha Bora, cross country, track and field; Abby Bull, women's golf; Abby Darnley, softball; John Duvall, cross country, track and field; Maya Hunt, volleyball; Cameron Jarvis, men's golf; Blessing King, women's basketball; Luke Prohl, baseball; Bella Thompson, volleyball; and Hannah Weiler, cross country, track and field. 17 athletes that received their degrees and maintained a 3.8 over this last year. Very, very cool. All right, Jed, the schedule is out for swim and dive, and I was going to put it up on the screen and everything. I think I'll just talk about it. September the 19th is when they are doing their annual green and white meet. And seems like they try to bring back, if I'm not conflating that with track and field, they try to bring back, swimmers that from, at least have them be there for the weekend and everything, kind of like a reunion. They're going to open up Fairmont State October the 1st, and then WVU right up the road on October the 2nd. They'll be back home for the first time. JMU comes to town on October the 30th. That'll be a Friday night, night before Halloween. I'm sure that they're going to put some kind of thing on. They'll probably have trick or treat for the kids or whatever. Stay tuned on that. I don't know anything. I'm just, speculating because this program's a lot of fun to watch. They like to have fun. I imagine there will be some costumes. They're not going to be jumping off the high dive in costumes or, getting slowed down.
Can we get that though?
If the fans could do it,
Yeah.
I would definitely go over there with my kids and dress up and get off the high dive if it made my fan. You know what? It wouldn't just make my family happy to see that. I think that would be maybe one of those things where people may do that as fundraisers, like find somebody that is willing to get off there. They get sponsored. Hey, if you do this, we'll do $5 to the program. I'm gonna see if we can do something like that.
Yeah, that'd be kind of a cool little thing.
I'd have to sign a waiver because I'm sure I'd break a hip on the way down or something.
Same.
They're also the following week going to be at home versus Ohio, and then they hit the road for a while. Liberty invite is November the 20th through the 22nd. Toyota US Open is from December the 2nd through December the 5th. Then they'll be at FIU December the 16th. And then finally, January 15th, they are back. Cumberland's comes to town, and that is their final meet. They only have 3 meets this year at the Fitch. Bowling Green is on the road January 22nd, Toledo January 23rd, Duquesne the 29th and the 30th. The American Conference Championships September 17th through February 17th through February 20th. And then after that's the NCAAs and the zone and stuff like that. So we'll see how they do about sending people to those, but 3 chances besides the green and white meet to get over to this to the fish to watch them swim. And Jed, I'm going to hop up on not a soapbox, but just like try to use our limited platform that we have here to say we had a groundswell of support for this program to not allow it to be taken off, that it would remain here. I am begging and asking everyone to bring that same energy to come over to these meets and show them the support that this program needs. They could use some fundraising for this, but they could, more than anything, everyone that signed that petition, come over. If you don't know how to get over there, I'll explain it again. At the top of the ramp of the Henderson Center, you, just like you're going into basketball, you walk onto the concourse. It's about the third door on the right as you walk through those doors at the top of the ramp in the Henderson Center. The huge mural on the side that says swimming and diving. You just go through that door. You're going to be upstairs in the bleachers overlooking the pool, which is in Gullickson. The pool is in Gullickson. The bleachers you access through the Henderson Center. So no excuse to, I didn't know where it was. I got lost. That's how you get there. You got 4 times, one of them in an exhibition against themselves, reunion kind of deal, and then 3 times to support against other schools that are coming here. So I really, really hope everyone does that.
Yeah, you made a good point where, we don't have to rehash everything that happened, but because of, it was the financial crunch and the upkeep of the facilities and a lot of money that was going to. So there's still. I'm glad you brought up the fundraising. There are needs for that program to be funded. And as many people that can come and support, donate, participate in fundraisers, things like that. Just because the program was kept doesn't mean the program is still. The program is no longer in need of support. I think there was like 30,000 people that signed that petition, if I'm not mistaken. And so, how cool would it be to have people have to be turned away because the bleachers were filled and they can't make the capacity is full? I think that would be a really cool problem to have, especially since there's only 3 home events, right? That makes it real easy. It's not like going to a basketball game or a sport that has a lot of home games where I'm going to go to maybe a handful of home games, or half of them, but I can't because of this, that, and the other. You should be able to make at least one home swim meet. So I'm just going to double down on your saying I'm going to stand on your soapbox beside you. Just say, come out and support. You come by, have a great time, support the program. It's back. It's a really, really fun time, and so no excuses now.
It is a fun time. My son, his favorite part of it is the diving, and he's just fascinated. And I mean, usually this is a kid, he's 8 years old for people that don't know. We go to a sporting event and he's got his tablet there, or he's got his mom's phone just playing on the calculator just to have some kind of electronic in his hand. And it kills me because at 8 years old, I was watching, I don't know, I say that, I was probably underneath the bleachers throwing football with other kids or something. But, I want him to watch and enjoy the sports and everything and appreciate the event. And he is fascinated by the diving. I mean, he watches them and everything because, somebody will come up and do twists and backflips and spins and things like that. The next person is not doing the same dive. They're doing something different. So he's just in awe of what are they going to do? The swimming, he'll look up and everything. And I'm not trying to tell the swimmers that he just doesn't know what he's watching. You know what I mean? And I enjoy the swimming and how they're making the turns and how they are making up ground. If they're saying second or third, that they're getting faster on their laps and everything. Maybe they're holding back a little bit, but every time they go into the turn, when they're hitting the wall and coming back off, they're cutting off a little bit of that lead, or they're increasing their lead if they're out in front. I enjoy watching that the transitions. His deal though, man, is the swim and dive. I mean, the diving part of swim and dive. So there's something for the kids. There's something for the adults. There's something for the Marshall fans. Just go and be there and support it. I promise you, you will not have a bad time. But not calling out fans, just saying you supported them. Let's now support them in attendance is basically where I'm going.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3, Stunt adds Peyton Anderson as assistant coach. Jed, this was pretty daggone cool when I read this. She comes to us straight from performing as a stunt athlete at Kentucky, where she competed in the national championship all 4 years while she was there. 22 through 26, she was at Kentucky. While at Kentucky, Anderson was a 2-time Division I stunt All-American, won 2 conference championships in 25 and 26, earned Rookie of the Year in 23, Veteran of the Year in 24, and was also named Miss Kentucky Stunt in 2026. That is an impressive resume. Don't forget our head coach, Coach Richard. She won on her program. I think it was 6 years in a row, and it's 6 and counting. And I think it's 6 and not 7. But anyway, overlapped while she was coaching against Peyton Anderson in the championships 4 years in a row. So highly familiar with what now Coach Anderson can do. Jed, there's also one little more twist that I'm going to give to you, but I'm going to flip it to you first.
No, I think that's fantastic. It's you're at least right now on paper. We're still going to have to go through the recruiting process and get the athletes in, and I don't think we're competing until the spring of 2028, if I remember correctly. So we got a little bit of time. But what you're doing though is you're already building that foundation with coaches and former players who know how who have been on a national championship team and understand what it takes at that level. So I expect, just like with any brand new team, they may come out of the gate and just win it right out, but you'll have some building time and getting building your roster and things like that. But this is a great start where we expect that within short order there should be a team that competes year in, year out at a very high level and hopefully competes for a national championship. I mean, that's what we love. So a great addition. They're doing what they're supposed to do when it comes to hiring coaches and getting the staff built. High caliber, high level. Doing it right.
Sure does seem like we're getting a good pedigree in place with the national championship appearances and victories and things like that. The little twist that I don't have the player's name. I tried to figure it out. I thought maybe I could guess it. I ran out of time. Peyton Anderson is not new to Marshall. She's very familiar with it because her brother played on the baseball team here in 2021. So I went through, tried to figure it out. Went through the rosters there for a couple of years. It's obviously a different last name, and I just could not. If anybody out there knows, they can tell me who it is. The article didn't name it; it just said she had ties to Marshall. So anyway, thought that was pretty cool. Number 4, men's soccer moves up the rankings as they are now 12th in the nation in the United Soccer Coaches Poll.
Yeah. Let's go. Quick work.
Started off 17, moving right on up. Yeah. Top 10, here we come.
What was that? The 2000? What's the
2,400 some?
2,400. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, has spent more than 2,400 consecutive days ranked in the United Soccer Coaches Poll. Yeah, it comes from Hertzone. So yeah, Man, what a fun team. What a great program to follow. It's what's really cool is I didn't get to attend that game. I know some people who went. My daughter had a soccer game that night, and one of our coaches actually went. Was like, "Oh, it's not even halftime yet. We're still gonna go." And he went, and he and his son went, and were able to watch that game winning goal, which I'm
Yeah.
kicking myself for not having just sucked it up and grabbed my daughter and say, "Hey, we're going." But very cool venue. That place was packed, for opening game. It's just such a fun environment, and they're winning, and winning does what winning does, and it pulls fans, it makes it exciting, and really great to see this program just kind of kick it off right from the get-go, starting to do already some amazing things. So I thought 17 was a little low for this squad, but we're already starting to make that climb. So just keep on winning, you're going to stay ranked, and but great start to the season. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to talk about that game here in a little bit when we get to Around the Herd. Number 5, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, named to the Davy O'Brien watch list. That's for the best quarterback in the country. One of only 30 quarterbacks in the country named to this award. Jed, there's more, because today, since his preseason hasn't been decorated enough, he was just named today as one of 20 players on the Hispanic Player of the Year award watch list. So we're looking at Maxwell, we're looking at Davey O'Brien, we're looking at Hispanic Player of the Year, his Sunbelt preseason, Offensive Player of the Year. I'm trying to think of the one for the off the field with the. I can't think of it right now, but I mean it's a who's who of awards that he's getting on these watch lists for, and he's got to take pride in that Hispanic Player of the Year watch list. But I have a feeling any quarterback is not just gunning for that Maxwell Award, the Player of the Year in college football, but the Davy O'Brien Quarterback Award. So he's on a bunch of short lists. Let's see what he can do to stay on there and become a finalist.
It sounds like that a couple of people think that he might be a half decent quarterback. Is that what you're
Might
telling me,
be.
Russ?
Yeah.
Like he just
they think
potentially,
he
right?
might do something.
Yeah,
He might
something.
do
Yeah.
something this year.
No, man, that's great. What else can you say about? I mean, I think he's been in our in the 5 things for. I think we need to start a counter. You have the men's soccer, the top 25. Consecutive weeks that CDRW is in the 5 things on the ThunderCast, because I think he's been in it for several weeks now.
This is where we need a statistician for the show that is just writing down all these things. And anytime we just off camera say, how many weeks has that been in a row? 8. Okay. Yeah. So it's been 8 weeks. So if you're out there and you want that job, listen, we'll get you a hamburger a week, and you can be our statistician. Because I really want to know who has been listed the most times in 5 things. I'm thinking Abby Herring, but
I think she's definitely got the record right now. But I'd like to see, who's got. You seen those charts where they have the things where it's like it's live animated, where it's over the years, and it's
Carlos is shooting up there.
He's still lower, but it's just starting to. I love it.
We need one of those. Jed, you're our IT guy. Get on that.
Right on my list.
That does it for this week. A clean 5 things every Herd fan needs to know this week, as always, brought to you by ignite.link.
Great 5 things. As we talked about, Russ, we're right in the meat and potatoes of fall season, so we've got a little bit to talk about around the herd. So let's hear a word from our sponsor, Layer 1 Solutions, and take it around the herd.
And now, Layer 1 Solutions, your experts in business connectivity infrastructure, takes you around the herd.
We are going to start with volleyball. They had their exhibition match against Ohio State last Wednesday, which, of course, in those events, we really never hear a score because they don't publish stats or scores or anything like that. So if any of you listeners were there, if you can just comment on the post or at us, we would love to know what that score was if you have that. But they did participate in that. Then on Saturday, they held the green and white scrimmage, which I was unable to go to. But those are always fun events. And so now that is wrapped up, we are now getting right into the schedule. They'll have the first two matches of the season on Friday as they face Niagara at 1 p.m. and Bucknell at 7 p.m. as part of the Marshall Invitational. Then on Saturday, they'll take on Ohio in that same invitational. So as the weekend approaches, got some volleyball action for you. Head on over to the game and check them out.
Well, not the CAM. Remember, they're over in the Skaggs part of Gullickson.
Yes.
So head over to the Skaggs, the basketball practice facility in Gullickson, and a little more tighter. It's going to be louder in there, a little bit better environment than the spacious CAM, for a volleyball match. But 3 chances to see them. Again, we just talked about with swim and dive. It's the same thing. Athletes are going to feed off the energy, so they need some people over there. This is one of those things that my kids, especially my girls, love volleyball because they played in gym class, and they love going over and watching this. And it's just a really, really fun environment. So head over this weekend if you can. Friday, that day game may be tough, for people that are working that day. But 7 p.m. Friday, 1 p.m. Saturday, should be able to get over there for at least one match.
Yeah, and just for future reference, if you do leave work early to attend these matches, the ThunderCast says that it's okay.
Yeah, we'll get you a note.
It's kind of like a doctor's note, but
so
you're fine. Just cut early. It's not a problem. All right, moving on over to women's soccer. Lost 4-0 to a good High Point team on the road last Thursday. But they had a great bounce back win at home on Sunday, picking up a 3-2 win over Wright State. So thoughts on those two games, Russ?
Yeah, we just could not do anything in that High Point game. It did not look like your normal women's soccer for Marshall, and got down, and I think it was till the 38th minute in that 3-2 victory. We hadn't scored a goal. We're down 1-0, and you're like, man, we got shut out last week, and here we're approaching halftime and hadn't scored a goal. Then we scored, and then after half we get 2 more, and we're up 3-1. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a lot better. This is more like what we're used to seeing. And then gave up a real late goal, like a minute and a half, 2 left to hold on. But tough game down at High Point. High Point was also predicted to finish first in their conference. So it's not like, we were facing pushovers. They came to play. It's one of those, if you're going to do it, I'd rather do it early in the season out of conference than if you're going to have a 4-0 loss in conference late in the season that would affect your seeding or, shot for a championship or something. So I'd rather have it early.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm never for those moral victories, but just a couple of stats I'd like to rattle off here real quick.
Yeah.
They actually outshot High Point 18-16 on shots, had an 8-7 edge in shots on goal, and then had almost double the corners, 7 corners to their 4 corners. They also hit the crossbar twice in the second half. So it just 4-0 doesn't sound good. Sounds like a shellacking. But I don't think it was as much of a shellacking as the score may indicate. And this is a team, again, they bounced back against Wright State, had a great win. We're still going to see a lot of great things out of this team. Speaking about seeing great things out of this team, they have a chance to pick up another win on Thursday night as we record. That's tomorrow, but as you're listening tonight at Belmont, they'll be playing. And then they travel to UT Martin for a Sunday matchup at 8 p.m. So don't know if these will be on ESPN Plus. Generally, these matches are. So if they are, at least check it real quick. Make sure if they are, watch it, and let's cheer on our women to pick up a couple of wins.
Yeah.
Keeping it on the pitch with men's soccer. Beat Fairfield 2-1, and what we alluded to it earlier has to be one of the most exciting finishes you'll ever see in a match. So, were you there, Russ?
I was
Did you go?
not.
Okay, I
No.
wasn't either. All right, all right.
So my daughter had to take her to an event, and it was a church youth group, and we had a meeting talking about different things and everything, and I did not get to go to the game, but just like you, I was really, because I'm watching it as it happens, but I'm watching on TV, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, I could be over there right now,
Yeah.
But anyway, that's why it pays to go to these guys. You got to go to the games. Don't do like I did. Don't do like Jed did. We decided to do something for our daughters and their events that they had, instead of saying, "Hey, get somebody else to go, and we're going to go watch soccer."
Yeah.
Obviously, we wouldn't do that. We understand.
Like the good fathers we are.
Yeah, yeah. We understand that people have things to do because we have things to do.
Right.
But I really wished I was over there. But anyway, proceed. Tell me about it.
All right. So tied up 1-1. Regulation running out.
Mm-hmm.
We get down to 5 seconds. Like right. The clock's ticking down. 10, 9, 8, and Ryan Holmes. It's almost almost like it's like a Hail Mary in football. All right, we're just gonna chip it into the box.
Yeah.
And for those of you non-soccer people, that just means we're just gonna put it up in the air. We're gonna put it right there, just shy of where the goalie is, and we're gonna hope we can get a touch on it. Well, a touch they got. Marshall takes that shot. Adam Gorn takes the ricochet off of a header out of the air. One touch, beautiful shot. Just bounces off down to his foot. Boom. Back right corner. They take the win. 5 seconds left in regulation. Man, just beautiful shot.
Place went nuts.
Yeah.
They're going crazy on the field because, I mean, these guys have played in a lot of games. I have to imagine the number of games that were won on a shot like that with 5 seconds left is not like 10%, 5%. You know what I mean? The number of games that they played. So this is still a rare thing for them, as much soccer as they have played. And the fans there, you've got to feel like, okay, yeah, we're going to try something, but we're probably going to extra time. And nah, man, 5 seconds left, found the back of the net. It was great. It was amazing to watch. I just really wish I was there.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I'm kicking myself for that one. So, but for those of you that were there, congratulations for getting to see an amazing shot. Congratulations to the men's team, man. What an incredible win, and way to kick off the season. Well, Russ, that is all I have for Around the Herd.
We got a little bit more, Jed.
What?
Yeah. So they take to the road for a match on the West Coast.
Oh, you're right.
As Thursday night at 10 p.m. And then next Tuesday they're going to be traveling to George Mason for a 7:15 p.m. match. So a couple of games before we record again that you have an opportunity to watch while they're on the road. And that's men's soccer, but the first part of your notes may have got cut off, but we've also got men's golf. Believe it or not, it's golf season. They're participating in the Virtues Intercollegiate. That's up in, I think it's Nashport, Ohio, Miami, Ohio territory. And that'll be Saturday and Sunday. So yet another, here's volleyball, women's soccer, men's soccer, and men's golf. You got to know women's golf is right on the heels. And then we're less than 2 weeks away from we're going to have football on here. And we have a bunch of fall sports, cross country, we're going to have a bunch here in the next 2 weeks to talk about and Around the Herd. Fall sports are back, baby.
Absolutely. So if you want to DM Thundercast_pod on Twitter, that's where you can submit your application and resume for co-host of the Thundercast 5 Things Around the Herd. So I was like, I didn't have the name thing this week. down. It's always something, man. But I appreciate you having my back.
Man, as you know, I'm diligent with these notes and everything, so I don't forget anything. But yeah. Well, Jed, that's all we've got for another great positive show. I'm going to take us out of here by saying whether you see us at the Cam, whether you see us at the Fitch, or whether you see us at the Skags, no matter where you see us, we're going to be saying, go herd. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Sorry.
No, go herd. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. In my mind, you were going to say something, but that's KD always says it after that. So I'll just say, go herd. It's the ThunderCast. We'll see you in another day.